I want to talk a little bit about why, when you learn a piece, and this happens especially with fast pieces, it seems to be going well, and the more you practice it, there comes a point where things start deteriorating. So fast passages start falling apart, start making random mistakes, things just don't feel the same anymore. And this is something that literally happens to me, and it happens to all my students. So this video applies both to pianists and piano teachers, because this information will be valid for both. I'm working with a lovely student at the moment who is really high level. She's preparing for her diploma and she's playing the Beethoven F major sonata. And she told me that this is the stumbling block of her repertoire. She can play all her other pieces, but this Beethoven is just tripping her up every time. She keeps making mistakes, and she went and played to an examiner the other day and just felt like the Beethoven just falls apart, and she practices the Beethoven the most. And she was worried, she was wondering, what if I can never get it? What if it will never be perfect? What if I can't get it right for my actual diploma exam? And I explained to her exactly what I'm going to explain to you now. Pieces have a life curve, and everybody follows the same curve, both beginners, intermediate players, and professionals. So here's what happens. Hear me out. You start a piece and you start learning it. And depending on your practicing skills, obviously you learn it well or you learn it not so well, but basically you are in the learning stage and the curve goes up, up, up. I mean, it could be easily a little bit of this as well, but the curve goes up in general until the piece gets better and better and better. And at some point it peaks at the level where you, with your skills, with your current abilities, are able to play it at your best. And your best right now might be different from where your best will be in a couple of years, for example. But in any case, you learn the piece and then it peaks. And then what happens after is it doesn't stay at this peak. Slowly or faster, depending on the piece and also depending on the speed of the piece, it starts deteriorating. It starts declining. So why does this happen? I have a theory on this, and I've tested this theory on every student of mine for over a decade, and it always works. So basically, what happens is when you are in the learning stage, you put in information consciously. You are at least hopefully figuring things out, figuring out the harmony, figuring out the fingerings, figuring out all of the layering of the piece. So what happens is this input creates this conscious way of thinking about the piece while you play. And as you go, it gets smoother and smoother. Your brain gets faster at processing the piece. Your fingers get faster at finding the right notes, etc. So the piece goes up until you feel like, okay, I can play it. If you're not ever at that level, you need to pick a piece that is at your level and test it out on that piece, because there are always pieces that never peak because they're just too difficult for us at that moment. But if the piece is at your level, if you're able to play it at your level, it peaks. And what happens is that when the piece peaks, we sort of get lazy a little bit. We start feeling like, okay, I've got this piece. And we start practicing it differently. We basically stop practicing the piece, as much at least, and we start playing the piece more. So what happens is what we do mostly now comes from muscle memory. And as the piece kind of starts declining, that muscle memory doesn't hold up as well anymore. So fast passages are starting to get insecure. You're starting to have this synchronicity between hands. Is that a word? I think it is. Basically, your hands are not in sync anymore if you have passages where your hands should be playing at the same time. And also things happen like completely random mistakes, things you never expected. Like, oops, I don't know where that came from. And this can especially get worse when you're trying to play to somebody else. Another thing that happens is, and this happens mostly to younger students, this is what I've noticed with younger students, they usually don't know how to practice properly yet. So their mechanism is to repeat the piece until they can play it at the fastest speed that they need to play it at, or even faster, obviously. Some people like to play really fast. And then they never actually do anything with that anymore. They just keep playing at that speed. And that's the quickest way to decline. Suddenly the piece just doesn't work anymore. So here's what you need to do to stop this from happening. You have to reconstruct, or basically even deconstruct and reconstruct the piece. This is how you're able to keep the repertoire going for a long time without losing it. So you basically get to that peak and then you start coming back to this process that you did when you were learning the piece. And I bet that even if you think you're doing it, you're not doing it at a deep enough level if your piece is showing signs of falling apart. So that's exactly what happened with my student. We looked at her Beethoven, we played the first movement, and She played it pretty well, but there were these slips, there were these random notes, there were these kind of fast passages that weren't proper. Things were basically happening, which is exactly what she was worried about, that things just keep happening. I don't know how to practice anymore. So we went really slow. I told her we have to kind of almost do the process again of learning the piece again. And we literally started with sections that were falling apart the most, and we took them to a snail speed. And we were looking at the fingerings again. We were looking at the hand synchronicity again. We were looking at kind of reorganizing the thinking in the head, thinking the harmonies, thinking okay, what chord is this again? What hand position is this again? And when we went to that root level, something very revealing happened. She couldn't play the piece. As soon as she slowed down, the piece fell apart. So this is the best telltale sign that the decay has happened and that the piece is mostly in the finger memory. And that is why when she was trying to play the piece through, those places in the piece started acting up. So my advice to you is that always, always, always practice at the speed that the piece to be played at, but also always, always, always bring the speed back. Do that layered practice over and over and over again. And sometimes it's actually not a bad idea to put the piece aside altogether, like leave it, let's say for a week. Leave it until you have forgotten enough of it. Because then what happens is when you take it up again, when you start learning the piece again, you actually end up at the higher level after you get back to that peak level. The peak will be higher because here's what I've noticed. Every time I set the piece aside and I take it up again, I can play it better after the reconstruction. It just becomes more settled, becomes more digested, somehow more integrated. So this is a great technique for anyone who is preparing for something important like a recital, an exam, a competition. It's a really good idea to learn a piece, set it aside, take it up again, and relearn it, and set it aside, take it up again. So basically your peaks go like this. First one, a little decline. If you catch it on time, next peak, next peak, next peak, etc. And obviously, this really boils down to knowing how to practice in a way that actually creates these results where your piece can peak in the first place. Because if you don't know how to build that process, you will never see the actual results of how the piece could be when you truly master it. So I'll give you lots of tips like that in my channel in the upcoming videos on how to construct the piece in a way, integrates it, that actually allows you to truly, I would say, tame it. I always feel like we either tame the piece, so we are above it, or the piece conquers us. So we are underneath the piece and it always feels like, oh my God, it's just going to fall apart. So we don't want that. So that's why you need to learn how to practice. And if you're a teacher and your student is preparing for something, practice slowly with them in the lesson and point out where those issues are, where the piece is falling apart, mentally mostly, but also on a physical level. And another thing I'll be covering a lot in this channel is the fact that physical tension can also hinder the piece from peaking. So if you always play with tension, there is no way you can truly have the freedom and the speed that you could have if you eliminated that tension. So if you want to dive deeper into how to let go of tension, how to let go of forcing the playing, how to play with more effortless flow, and especially if playing gives you pain, you should check out my free masterclass for pianists called When Playing Hurts, How to Overcome Piano-Related Pain and Performance Anxiety. It will give you a great foundation for playing in a healthy way, but not just that. When your body coordinates well, when you play in a way that's healthy for your body, when you play without stress and anxiety in the mind, guess what happens to your pieces? You're suddenly able to master your repertoire in the way that you never could before. So go check out that masterclass. It's linked below in the description of this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.